Hello, my name is Zachary Stone, and I am going to be talking today about organizational design, structure, and change as my presentation today for the Management 605 class. A summary of what I'm going to be talking about today is financial soundness issues, consequences of failure, organizational structure, design, and culture, conscious culture, Cotter eight-step model, possible challenges, and lessons learned and strategies for change. Before I get into that, I'm going to be talking specifically around Inspire Investing. The company is what I'm going to be focusing on. This company was founded in 2015. It's the world's largest provider of faith-based ETFs. There are 29 employees headquartered in Boise, Idaho. It has been known and mentioned in the Inc. 5000's fastest growing private companies over the last three of the last 4 years, and it has been the top five fastest growing RIAs 3 of the last 4 years. All of this is important into whether or not Inspire is admired. This is also the company that I work for, and it is a very fast growing and exciting company. Today, we're going to be talking about the major issue of financial soundness. The major issue that Inspire Investing is facing is finding investors because of the lack of perceived financial soundness. The company's only been around for 9 years, and so for many of those years, the company operated at a loss as it was a startup. Because of tight cash at the beginning, the company sold shares and sold debt to finance operations, mostly to friends and family. This also created a really complicated ownership structure that has proven difficult to unwind for new investors that want to enter in. We are a financial services company, so there's not a lot of real assets on the balance sheet, as well as we have a lot of investors who want to divest and get an opportunity to exit, but don't have the opportunity to. And investors like to see those real assets. And those are troubles that are appearing like lack of financial soundness. The biggest problem if Inspire is not able to solve this is being stuck in old ways with old finances. At a certain point, exploitation of what has been working causes a company to fail if they don't explore new things. If Inspire cannot escape this appearance of lack of financial soundness, investors will not want to purchase shares of our company when offered. And if that happens, we will not be able to buy out investors who want to exit ownership. A major issue is simply optics. People want to work with legitimate companies, and people who do a deep dive often think Inspire is not legit enough to work with and trust with their significant finances. Now, focusing on organizational structure, design, and culture, the internal culture of Inspire has been focused on greatly with concentrated efforts on the structure and design of it. There's a strong asset for Inspire is the internal culture, which stands on the legs of authenticity, logic, and empathy in order to foster trust. This has been enforced and coached to new managers throughout the company. Our long-term fans and followers have also seen our success despite measurables that others review and trust our organization and its finances, but we need to create a culture perceived by new institutions where they can trust our financial soundness, and that's the external culture that needs to be worked on by Inspire. Now, regarding conscious culture and Inspire, Kip Tindell says culture actually drives the value of the business. Culture and the bottom line are not and should not be at odds. Having a stronger culture is not a sacrifice of profits. Inspire models this belief every day. Inspire has and is focused on culture that leads to profits and not solely on strategy for the simple focus of profits. This is a major tenet of conscious capitalism and conscious culture. Much of this comes from a faith-driven company inspired to provide financial services to other believers. This also accomplishes one of the four pillars of conscious capitalism, which is higher purpose. The culture over strategy mentality that Inspire has really does show a company that is focused on conscious culture. Now, regarding conscious culture and financial soundness, something that's lacking, one of the pillars is stakeholder orientation. As I stated, I do believe that Inspire has a deep focus on employee stakeholders, but not necessarily all of the stakeholders, including prospective customers and investors, as well as current owners in the future of the industry. It's time to shift from hyper focus on internal culture towards employee stakeholders and to focus on all who do and could have a stake in Inspire. It is this that will allow Inspire to be a long-lasting, thriving company. Everything Inspire has done to build a great culture is so that the company would remain forever and have a lasting impact. but without becoming financially sound and making the appearance of financial soundness known, this will not be possible. It's time to start focusing on things that affect the culture of the long term and not just the short term. With that focus, it is possible for Inspire to build on what is already done in order to become financially sound and not have to start over. What they have done is not wrong, just hyper focus. It's a strong foundation that we're able to build on, but the focus needs to broaden a bit. In order to get from where Inspire is, a company that appears to lack financial soundness, to where we want to be, we need to follow Kotter's 8 steps for leading change. These 8 steps are listed here on the slide. I'm going to walk through them one by one. First, Inspire as a company must realize how important this change is and communicate to the team how urgent it is to find a solution. Next, we must enlist a team of people to guide the team through necessary steps to become financially sound. This is the guiding coalition. After that, this team of the guiding coalition must create a strict and focused strategic vision on this particular project. This will involve what the end goal is and what success is defined as. After that, we will communicate this to the team members and volunteer to the team members who volunteer to take part in this project. As a leader of this, I will be in constant communication with the team to be made aware of boundaries and step in and remove them, step in to remove them or enable them to do so. Along the way, the team will be made aware of milestones that are important and attainable in order to get traction and momentum of wins, to generate short-term wins that we can build momentum off of. In addition to that, once those wins are started, we will make sure that our foot remains on the gas pedal, so to speak, so that acceleration is not stopped or shortened, but it is continued and moved forward, so that this acceleration is sustained and not just short term. Finally, once the project is complete, the change will be instituted, and the team will be made aware of their accomplishments and celebrated. This is a change that is not necessarily something that can be instituted in a moment. It's going to be instituted throughout the project. And once that's completed, then there's celebration that is warranted. The biggest issue that Inspire may face is whether the perceived financial soundness matches the actual financial soundness. Inspire could do everything in its power to reach financial soundness and still be seen as unsound due to lack of time within this reality, and as well as because of arbitrary metrics that some people use. With this, it will be hard to identify what the actual finish line and the goal is of the project. This will make it difficult to motivate the team to give an end goal, though it is necessary to find something to use to motivate. Finally, this needs to be handled with care as to not alter the good culture that is of Inspire. I believe that Inspire could strive for financial soundness without becoming a profits-only focused business, but it will be a temptation that the team needs to be aware of. All of these things are challenges that if aware of, the guiding coalition as well as the team that's instituting this change can move past, can get around, but it is important to be aware of these things. Now, personally, while evaluating this company Inspire that I work for, as well as its ability to be financially sound, the biggest lesson I learned from this is that too much of a good thing, in this case, focus on internal culture and the startup mentality, can lead to long-term effects downstream. Luckily, if you notice, and we are noticing these effects early, it's possible to correct them without undoing the good work that has been done. Like I said, the good thing is still good. It's just too much of that could cause damage. In order to create the change needed, I've learned that competition can be a good driving force, especially in convincing leadership of the necessity for improvements. This competition can be the highlight that encourages leadership to make the necessary moves to institute this change and how we differ from others in our industry. In order to accomplish this change, I believe that the best strategy would be Lewin's process of freezing to make everyone aware of the issue and highlighting it for everybody, changing, instituting that change I was talking about earlier through Kotter's 8 steps, and then refreezing to eternalize the change. In conclusion, I do not think Inspire has a long way to go to appear admired. Given the strong foundation that has already been built, Inspire just needs to be made aware that change is needed to grow the business, and it is good. There is a strong foundation, and good leadership can and will move the needle. And here are the references of who I talked to, or who I studied to get this information.